Hey guys, and this is the part 2 video. I think I fixed the lighting. That's why I paused the video. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to fix the lighting. Still kind of wonky, but so for part 2, I'm gonna give you more details about the visa and how to go about it. I'm not going to go on forever because nobody wants to hear on forever and ever and ever. But I will give you a little bit of an update. So, as I said, we went through the K1 visa is the way we went through. And so we have to wait till we have all the paperwork through before we can get married. Which is fine. It gives me and Zach time to kind of build the relationship still and kind of settle anything else that we need to get settled. So we are on packet 3 to packet 4, and the reason I say that is because I think 2 days ago booked my medical, and I have my interview booked, which means that's like the last step, is once you get your interview, you get accepted or you get denied, and then you are free to roam in America if you get accepted, of course. So, filling out the paperwork takes time. Like, you literally need, sorry, I got hiccups, you really need to take some time and read over everything like 2, 3, 4 times, because if you answer anything wrong on the paperwork, it's going to look bad in your case. So take the time, and most of the questions are very repetitive, so it's not like it's their questions, sorry, I'm just looking for the papers, but it's not like the questions are something bizarre until you get near the end. There's like an online quiz part that you do, and it asks you like really crazy questions. It's really weird, but they're just trying to make sure this is for the safety of their country. So they're going to ask you any question they need to ask you to make sure that you're not going to scam their welfare system or, you know, like launder money or start some sort of like crazy cult in their country. Like, they want to make sure you're legit, and they want to make sure that this is a real relationship. And that's why you go to the interview, is you do the interview just to prove to them that this is a real relationship. You're not paying him to marry you to get into their country, because apparently that's a big scam. And I've heard about it happening a lot in Japan, like in China and stuff. I'm not in China, but like over here from China. And it's scary because that's not legit, that's not fair, and all that stuff. So I've just pulled up my applicant summary. So online, I can go online to this website, and it gives me all my information of like when my appointment is, which is in January. So I have my interview appointment in January. It tells me my purpose of my trip and everything else, and so that's my process. And so there's just so many things to, like, where do I even start with you guys? Like, there's just so much. So, let's start with the paperwork, because that was, like, part 2. So you get this letter. That's not the letter. You get this letter saying, it's, like, I got mine in August, at the end of August, saying, "Dear Kat, da-da-da, whatever," and they give you kind of a step-by-step. So, follow the process below, in order to finish up your case. And so you do all this stuff, and what it pretty much is a list of documents that you have to fill out. So you need there's a list of documents. Once you have all those documents, you send them in. So you have to apply for they use a special courier service, which is kind of funded by them and stuff. And so you do this courier service, and you mail in all the papers that they ask you to have or whatever, and it only takes probably about 3 or 4 days, and then another paper comes back, or they email you saying you're ready for your interview, so please apply for a date. And then you pick a date that's convenient for you, or whenever you can do it, and then off you go. So so that's kind of that's like kind of the steps that I've taken. What is kind of the longest pain in the butt out of this whole situation was getting my immunizations, which sounds really crazy, but I'm not actually done getting them. So in Canada, it's a little easier for the reason that all the immunizations that are required are free. So I can go into the clinic and get just ask for any of these immunizations, and they don't cost me anything. So that has been a great convenience, for the fact is that my medical is going to cost me $300 when I go to this panel. So I keep talking about this medical, and I haven't really explained it to you guys. So I will explain that now, I guess, while I'm in this whole kind of thing. So I got all my updated shots done already, except I need my flu shot, and I've never gotten a flu shot because nobody gets a flu shot unless you're unless you really need it, if you're in, like, if you work in a hospital, or if you're elderly, or if you're really young. It's sometimes important to get the shot to help protect you. But I've never gotten it because I've never really needed it. I've really had a really good immune system. I don't get sick very often. Yeah, so this is what, can I show you this? Yeah, there's no personal information on it other than what shots I've gotten done. So this is what it looks like, and I've gotten it photocopied a few times, so I have it not only on file for me, but I have it on file for whenever they need it. And so this is used when I go to the medical. So whenever you're doing your visa stuff, they have a special what they call a physician panel. And so it's a panel of doctors and physicians and such that are going to evaluate your health and make sure that you are able to, and you had all your shots taken and everything else, make sure you are able to physically move into the United States. So this panel I have to go to in November, so November 12th I go, and I go in front of this panel, and I pay them $300 for them to check out my paperwork, and they check me out and make sure that I am of good physical condition to go across the border, and then that they approve the papers, and then those papers come with me to my interview. So this is a really important process as well. It's obviously second to most important because you have to apply for this this appointment. These are special doctors, and I have to do it in Toronto, so I have to drive to Toronto, which is not a problem, but it's like 7, 9 in the morning, so I have to go through rush hour traffic, which is not fun. So so that can be a problem for other people in other countries, the cost of that, and the cost of this visa is not cheap. It's not cheap at all. $300, I say, like, $300 is not, I say it like $300 is not a lot, but that's not the only thing we've paid for. You're also paying like $250 or so just to have the interview, and then you got to pay like another $250 just to hand in the paperwork at some point. So you're paying a lot of money towards, like, this process is not a cheap process, and it's been very stressful. What else? So I have my criminal record check as well. So I got mine done, and I asked them to get photocopies for me. So I had like 3 extra photocopies of my criminal record. So you need to get that done. And I'm good because I don't have a clean record. I mean, the most trouble I've ever gotten into was like speeding tickets. So I have I have 1 speeding ticket, and then I had one when I was 16 or something. I think it was when I first started driving, so it was back then. So that's the worst I've ever done. So I've been very fortunate, very blessed that what I think I am is I am good, but you know. And then you also need evidence of a whole bunch of things. It's crazy. You do need to prove, what I think was the hardest to prove actually was proving that I'm going to stay in the country. So one part of the package is that you have to prove that you are going to be an American citizen, and that you're going to stay in that country, you're going to work in that country. And the reason it was hard was because the best point of proof is to have property. So if I had owned property, or if Zach had owned property in the States, then it would show that, yeah, we're gonna stay there, obviously, because we own property, and we're paying like taxes and stuff like that. And it's just we didn't have any because we were gonna wait till we got married. So that's been really, I think that's been really hard. I did throw in some letters of like resumes, so I applied to a few places, and it was really hard applying to places in the States because all of them ask, and I know it's in Canada too, they ask if you're a resident, or if you have like a SIN card. I don't know what you guys call it. I think you guys, Americans, call it like an SSN card, like a social security number. And I don't have an American social security number, so applying to half the jobs, about 75% of the jobs, emailed me right away and said, no, we can't hire you, you don't have a social security number. And the other half they got back to me and they said thank you for applying or whatever, but I can almost guaranteed I would not get the job. But I'm trying, like I have to try to get a job now as well, so it actually worked out well. Like I have to try to get a job, because when I get there I won't have a job, so I'm hoping that I can transfer from my, not transfer, but get a recommendation from my job for a same location down in the States. But we will try and we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But it's hard to prove that I'm going to stay in the country when I have no evidence other than my own words saying that I want to be in the country. But they don't take that. They're going to be like, yeah, okay, whatever. Other things that they accepted were things like if you had canceled your, and your cell phone plans, or if you've canceled things. And it actually happened to work out. I had canceled my insurance already because I figured I won't need a car insurance up in Canada if I'm not here. So I'd canceled my car insurance and I don't have my car anymore. So that I sent that in hoping that was good enough evidence as well. And I canceled my gym membership, but I couldn't find the receipt for it. So that was kind of a bummer. But I'm slowly trying to phase out my things, so I'm slowly canceling some things off. They also accepted bank, like if you had opened a bank account in the States, and I have not done that yet, but I think next time I go down, I'm going to do that. The problem is that by the time I go down next time is where I'm already going to be allowed to be in the country, so it's a little silly. So, yeah, you have to show that, and then you fill out a bunch of these forms, and I guess I can kind of show you these forms without showing off my information. Maybe not, but you get these big forms, and it's like, you can look it up online if you want, petitioning for an alien fiance. So it's called the I-129F, so you fill out that, and that's one of the first forms you fill out. But it's funny because a lot of the forms are very similar to that form. So if you do Google that form or look it up, they ask you the same information. So they ask you your name, address, your place of birth, your country of citizenship, your marital status, which being single right now, because all you have is married, single, widowed, or divorced. So you're single until you're married is that how they consider it. And then they ask you if you had any prior spouses. So it's crazy because it's the same questions. You have about 20 forms you fill out, and those are the first, like, same questions over and over again. Those are the first questions you answer on every single one of these forms. So the information gets repetitive, and it gets really annoying because you're just like, why can't you just take this information off the last form? Like, why does it always have to be so different? So yeah, it's been crazy, pretty crazy in that department. You have to send in, like, your tax returns. I think I mentioned on the last video. You need to prove that you are, you're able to, well, Zach needs to prove that he's able to support me, and I have to prove that I'm able to support myself even if he couldn't. So we've been sending in, we had to find all our old tax returns, how much we made in wages, anything like that. So that's been kind of stressful, pulling all that together. It's almost like tax season when you have to pull together all this information that you had saved up over the year just for taxes. And so that's been kind of crazy. And you have to have it in a nice order. Like, you have to have it in a decent order. I think the easiest part actually about this whole application was proving that we've been in a relationship. Which seems funny, because at first, I think when I did the first preliminary package of the, like, petitioning, when Zach was petitioning, I helped him do his forms, and I found it really hard because I was like, okay, all we have is photographic proof that we've been together, and that's all we have. I was like, we don't really have anything else other than, like, tickets and stuff like that. But I did some snooping, and I pulled up all our Facebook messages, and I pulled up emails, and I just had to do a huge hunt of all our stuff, and so it's been quite a process. So the paperwork part of all of the work is done pretty much next to the medical. So once I get my flu shot, which I have to try to find a place that does it early, because a lot of the flu shots don't come out until, like, the end of October. So I have to get that done, and then all my paperwork is kind of done, and then I go for my, so my medical is in, oh, I didn't mention this, my medical is in Toronto, but my interview is in Quebec. So I have to go to Montreal, Quebec. I haven't been there in years, like years. So I'm going to spend the weekend up there. I'm going to try to vlog while I'm up there, but it's hard because I'm going to be either with my mom or one of my bridesmaids who really wanted to go too. So I might make it a girls' weekend. It'd be cool if I could get all the bridesmaids up there and we could just do like a bridesmaid weekend or something. But I don't really know how I'm going to go about it. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about the visa itself, how to go about it, if you're in that situation, if you just any questions about any of that at all, please feel free to let me know. Let me know, and I'm gonna do a video on me moving and stuff like that. So there's gonna be a lot more vlogging about the visa and moving and my whole transition into Arizona. So you guys get to go through all that with me, which will be kind of exciting. And don't worry, I will still have videos for you guys. So if you have any questions, leave them below and I will answer them. I'm actually pretty good at answering comments. So thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you next time.